yana mai vanogona kuita negative baba vari positive kunyange muchisangana pabonde nguva dzakawanda musina kudzivirira hazvingofolowa kuti if your wife is positive you are also positive or if your wife is negative you are also negative saka kungonotestwa nekungonotariswa zvinenge zvakangokosha.
Yeah. Okay, so like we said that today's we are looking at HIV in men, adolescents and children. We are in the nest, and joining me today is Dr. J, our resident gynecologist, and also Vambai from ZACH, that's Zimbabwe Association of Church-Related Hospitals. Okay, so Doc, you asked me a question that kind of took me aback.
Exactly, yeah.
Before we came on air, do you mind asking that question?
Thanks, Tari. That's why I asked off air, because I really wanted you to allow me to ask it. Because I was looking at stigmatization. Then I was just thinking, Tari, Judah, akawene mskana wake akuda kurora. But mama, we are so much in love. But mskana wangu, she's on art. She's living with HIV. What then would you say to him?
And I'll answer the way I answered. I answered Doc and I said, you know, in the era that we are in right now, there's a lot of information. And for me as a parent who deals with these issues almost week in, week out, I think I would be comfortable. I think I would be comfortable because ndrukuziva kuti Dr. J varikutambira vana that are born positive. So there was also this debate of being a positive virgin. Anyatsotaura kuti zvoni asati ndambosangana nemurume asi ndiri positive, and there's that dilemma as well.
Yeah.
So because of the information that I am armed with, because I am armed with this information, I think it will be a green light from me.
Very well. Talking of positive virgins, now takutaura vertical transmission. Takutaura mai vaya probably vambotesta HIV negative nombechitanga na baba vari HIV positive vasiri kuzviziva vaine high viral load vobva vaipasa on to the mom during pregnancy, which means mai pavanoinfectwa neHIV vanenge vaine a very high viral load, increasing her chances yekuendesa kumwana nekudhura kuri kuita zvinhu nezvese zviri kuitika around us. Havazi vese vanozowana a second test, so most mothers are relying on one test yavari kuita iwe, despite that my recommendations are recommending 2 tests, one nombechitanga imwe around 36 weeks to ensure that hapana transmission yakaitika. So vana panogona kuzoitika mwana anozongowana HIV intrapartum, which means during delivery or post delivery, because isusu tinotaura kuti vana exclusive breastfeeding Tari, but system yedu yatinayo muZimbabwe haisupport exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, because maternity leave mutemo unotaura kuti ana mai ngavaende kuleave kwasara 21 days or 45 days vozodzoka kubasa. Maternity leave yavo yoita 90 days or 98 days, so that does not support exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. Saka mai ava kana vazoacquire HIV either during breastfeeding or during the pregnancy, pane mukana wekuti unoenda kumwana, so mwana anotowana HIV yake otorarama nayo, because mai vakangoholda pa that faith yekuti ndakambotesa HIV nombechitanga and I was negative. Towana mwana awana vertical transmission, omisa on my opportunities. Mwana surely can be a virgin with HIV. So these are realities.
These are realities.
Yes.
So Vimba, you want to come in there?
Yeah. With our program, we are also having to deal with adolescents and children, and I think it's really quite important to educate the caregivers and the parents as well, so that they can advocate for these youths, because in most cases it's up to the parent to bring the child for testing or to bring the child for treatment. So I think it's very important so that everybody gets tested, including children and adolescents.
Okay. Yeah, kutestwa kwakanaka kana tichikutaura at face value. I also have a teenager who is apparently battling with her art. Why? Because of the stigma that is out there. Havasi kuda kuenda kuNewstart, havasi kuda kuenda kuma local clinic, because then they will be labeled and be cast out kuti ava vari pachirongwa, vari mubhazi, vari paprogram. Saka they are opting to go kuma clinics ema medical aid societies avo, and then vonowana maart avo kuma pharmacies. rightfully the art is being provided as and when they need. But the beauty of an OI clinic, opportunistic infection clinic, is the support that comes with adherence. Vanhu vanonotestwa vobva vapuwa malessons. Yes, there's a price to pay yekumira muqueue, and all this medication is given for free. So akazoenda manje akanoshaya nemedical aid yake nokuti havana zvinhu zviri kunetsa, haachakwanisa kunotenga ega, akudefault. And then vana, these are the young people, not just vana, nevanhu vakuruwo zvakare vakawanda vari reluctant to then go and go OI clinic kwaanonowana the correct support inenge iripo iri kufanirwa kubetsera iyoyo.
That's so true. I know of someone who actually visited and overstayed their visit, and I think angasina kutakura enough meds, and pazvaka kuzotaura kuzodisclose kwaakaita was because angasina mari yekunotenga. So by the time, they asked me to buy, I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, we'll just call, cab, because no one wanted to leave the house. Chinda unotenga. The price of just 3 tablets was out of this world. And I thought, sheesh, kovaya vari kurarama nenyaya idzo the stigma, how are they affording this? It's crazy. And I mean, we were talking with Shamiso as we were coming up with this program. Kuti iyo nyaya stigma, teacher, are we going to be able to beat it? Can we talk about HIV and AIDS the way we are talking about the coronavirus? Will we ever get to that point where we know what we need to do? And even with HIV and AIDS, we now know kuti, how is it passed? We know how it's passed and stuff. Earlier on, I was also sharing with her, there is a child that we know of, 12-year-old, who tested positive for coronavirus in the UK, a relative. And one of the ladies in the office said, so the word virus automatically is related to HIV and AIDS because it is a virus. So I was like, there goes that stigma again.
Stigma is a real thing.
Eish.
Unfortunately, tangane self-stigma. Inini wacho ndikatonotestwa and chatodi kuti, because I ask people, now that your results is positive, uchaudzani. Iye wacho pachake anogona ngatori mudenial, let alone haana mumwe wake wanoda kuudza. And chimwe zvacho kazhinji zhinji zviri kukonzerwa nekuti hatina information out there yakanyatsokwana, and those tiri kungoaswima kuti inini am immune, mumwe ndiye anayo, tongobva tamutarisira pasi, tobva tangofunga kuti anoiwana wese, zvinoreva kuti ane zvakaipa zvaakaita.
Yeah.
But ingofunga kuti okay, inini ndaiwana, I'm the woman, I'm the wife, probably faithful my entire life, and ndaunzirwa nemurume wangu, and I'm so bitter because I feel I didn't deserve it. But don't you think even your husband didn't deserve it?
Yeah.
Apana anodeserva kuitirwa zvakaipa. Apana. So kana iwana ungatingozvitarisai kuona kuti okay, uya I deserve in as much as I don't deserve, and it doesn't mean kuti waita chimwe chakaipa. I still go back to the virgins who are living with HIV. Avana chakaipa chavakaita other than kungozvarwa namai vanga vaine utachiona. Vamwe vachona unfortunately vana vakaabuswa. Nema adults avaitrasta, because when you get sexual abuse kuvana vadiki, my reproductive organs avo haasati ava mature. If this adult is living with HIV, they are likely to then pass it on, because nhengo yemwana haisati yamature. Bruises and cuts will come, and risk of infection inobva yaskyroketa kusvika kuma 15% per single act. So mwana yanenge atokanganisika upenyu hwake. Izvo zvaitwa isiri mhosva yake. Saka we are too quick to blame, and more so when you guys then say communities of faith. Kumachechi koko ndo kwakatonyanya, because we then become holier than thou, and we then judge other people kuti ava vari kutori muchirongwa, ava vari kutopasa visual AIDS test, tichitobva tatodaro, which to me is not right. So stigma inotanga nemunhu wachona and then kozoita community yacho. Ndikatongoziva kuti maid wangu is living with HIV, probably anda kutomudzinga basi.
Yeah, we did that one there on Monday with in Mushamukadzi. It was also quite a big one where the domestic helpers are saying, how can I disclose status yangu inini ndichimbonzwa madam vachitaura kana kuti matauriro avanoita vanhu vari HIV positive. I'm not going to disclose. I don't want to lose my job. I'm just going to look after myself and make sure kuti and this could pass on utachuna. So sometimes it's us, the society, we make it difficult for people to disclose. Not that it's an easy subject. We understand and we appreciate and respect that it's not easy. I just can't go to Dr. J. Okay, maybe I can go to Dr. J and say, hey, this is the story, but I can't walk up to Vimbai and. Upon meeting you, I'm already telling you, my status. As Ringoiti, even you wouldn't know what to do with it, with that kind of information. So, we keep talking about
now,
it. Yeah.
If we look closely, OI clinics, those guys are empowered.
Actually,
they are so empowered. They are quick to say, you know what, I'm living with HIV. In as much as diabetes says that.
Is it actually true that you can't take the meds on an empty tummy?
No,
you can, and because it always gets to me with per function. We need to eat first. I'm like, what?
Why not take advantage of your situation to skip the queue?
I guess so. Vimba, you want to come in there?
Yeah, I just want to follow up on what Dr. J mentioned, talking about the faith communities. So we did realize that it's something that is happening within the faith communities and churches, whether it's Christian, non-Christian, the traditional communities, that stigma and discrimination is a real thing that is happening within these communities. So with one of our programs, we thought it would be a very good intervention, a very useful intervention to come and work with these religious leaders. So religious leaders have a bit of influence within the community. They are respected members of the community. They have influence on people's behaviors and attitudes. So they could actually be used as an instrument to come and help reduce the issues of stigma and discrimination, empowering them with information on HIV so that they don't become part of the problem. When they speak to people, offer comfort and counsel, they give the right information. So I think working with religious leaders is a very important intervention.
Okay, now Vimba, you've got stats for us? If you can share the stats that you came for, you prepared for us.
Okay, so we're just looking at how men are being kind of left behind. A lot of the interventions that started off when the whole HIV epidemic was coming along, they kind of just became focused on women. They have so many areas where they can access the health services and access HIV testing and treatment services in the antenatal clinics, in the well baby clinics, family planning clinics, but there wasn't such a space for men. So that's something that maybe is resulting in these statistics where you find that the coverage among men aged 15 years and older, it's about 55% compared to 68%. That's the art gap. Those people living with HIV who are on treatment. So you find that men are lagging behind in terms of testing and treatment services.
All right, so the antiretroviral treatment, that's art coverage for men, is we're looking at 15 years and older, is sitting at 55% compared with 68% among women. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, all right. And only about half the children and adolescents living with HIV are receiving art. Okay, now let's move on to what you do. What is the Faith Community Initiative all about?
So with this Faith Community Initiative, we're trying to engage communities of faith to reach men, children, and adolescents with these HIV testing services so that they can understand the epidemic and just raise general community awareness on issues around HIV diagnosis, treatment, support and retention in care.
Okay, and what is the difference between the difference about this initiative from the other HIV interventions that we have heard?
So yeah, there have been a lot of interventions that are working with communities, but I think there are not a lot that are looking at religion and how religious leaders can play a critical role in promoting HIV testing and treatment, as well as support and adherence support in the context of HIV and AIDS. So with this initiative, we're like focusing on religion and religious leaders and how they can continue their work on HIV, be more empowered in terms of knowledge that they give to their congregants.
And why are men lagging behind?
So
what is the problem? We know that, you know, men's health-seeking behaviors are just really at, I can't call it zero now because they are trying, but they're still lagging behind.
Yeah, so I mentioned some of them before. They're not a lot of men-friendly services available. Mm-hmm. A lot of the services were targeting women, and also just issue of that men's health-seeking behavior is quite low. So when they do encounter a health system, it's mostly women. They're having to sit on benches with mothers with their babies, and it takes a bit of time. This, you know, men want to get their services and leave.
Okay, so how can we close this gap?
So now we just want to create more men-friendly services, get them to access this care, get them support, because they do need support as they access these services.
All right, Morgan Wushu has got a question on Facebook. We are live streaming on Facebook at StarFM Zimbabwe. A question to Vimbai: how successful has been your campaigns in rural areas where some just die because of no access to art?
Okay, so this initiative is just starting. So we will be getting into the rural areas, and we are trying to improve access with the help of community health workers that do come into the communities and, you know, give all this information, as well as issues around HIV testing, so that they can access services.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you can explain a little more about the message of hope.
So the messages of hope, it's not something new, but we've just packaged it in a nice way. So we're talking about the new testing options that are now available. In addition to the usual voluntary counseling and testing and the provider-initiated counseling testing, we have HIV self-testing, which is also available. People can do this test on their own in the comfort of their own home, but we do encourage that they do link up with health facilities so that they can be they get help interpreting those results, as well as if they are, you know, found to be living with HIV, they can have a confirmatory test and they can be started on treatment. And we also have the new treatment. So before, people used to take lots of tablets at a time, but now it's usually a once daily dosing. It's got fewer side effects, fewer food restrictions. Then we also have the test and start. So now, instead of waiting for your immunity to go down to a certain level for you to initiate treatment, the Ministry of Health now encourages that as soon as a person tests positive for HIV, they are started on treatment.
Just jump on.
Right.
Onto the bandwagon and just carry on like that.
Right.
Now, before you leave Mumbai, how can people get in touch with you?
So we have people can come.
Oh my goodness.
So
people can
we
come.
We have our offices are at 160 Baines Avenue in Harare, and they can call us as well on landline number 07702 065 or 734-814.
All right, your telephone numbers again?
702065 734814.
All right,
or
so those...
email info@zach.org.zw.
Thank you so much, Vimbai, for coming through. And remember, this program was made possible through a partnership between Zimbabwe and the American people. Star FM sounding good all the time. It is 11 o'clock. It's time for the news.
Star FM News.